What is going on, guys? It's Game with Mav. Today, bringing you a brand new video for Clash Royale, and this is actually a new strategy that I came up with for level 6. This does require the mirror, so you have to be in Arena 5 to unlock this strategy, which is the only downside to this strategy, but overall, this is the most amazing strategy that I have ever come up with. It's beaten about, I can't even remember how many level 7s I've beaten. Definitely a lot of level 7s, and I even tied with my first level 8 that I found. So this shows that this strategy is not only effective against my level, but as well as 1 or even 2 levels higher than me. Alright, so I will post a picture right now on the screen of my actual strategy. But anyways, guys, this doesn't require that high level of troops. I mean, my barbarians are like level 6. I could upgrade them, but I need 1,000 gold. I'm like 600 off. But yeah, so you could do this with low level troops. I use the skeleton pretty much just for the lure, and like as you can see here with the prince, I lured him out into the center. I just wanted to be safe, so I dropped that in front of my castle, or in front of my tower, just in case he decided to miss it. But guys, if you get a skeleton trap or a goblin hut to start off, I would not recommend putting it in the far corner of the map, because at this level they will use a rocket or even a fireball, or in this case a lightning spell, and take out your castle as well as all of the buildings you spawn behind it. So that is why I use the skeleton trap right in the middle of the base, because it actually lures all of the troops no matter what side they come from. They lure them right to that building, and it's super effective. So the only downside to this strategy is if your opponent has freeze spells, or a hog rider, maybe even both if they're lucky. But if that happens, you can't really do anything about the skeleton traps, because obviously it would lure the hog, but he would just freeze your buildings, and the hog would go right to the tower and get plenty, probably like 5 to 6 shots off on your tower, and that is a huge that's like a huge downside to this strategy. Alright, so hopping into this raid, things are looking pretty even right now. I've been using this fireball a lot lately to take out the witch, or to take out a musketeer, or obviously a huge horde of troops. But yeah, so things are looking pretty even right now. Like I said before, the prince is going straight for that castle as I was talking about, or straight for that skeleton trap, I'm sorry. And yeah, I accidentally wasted that fireball there. I meant to hit the musketeer and the dragon, but it was like an inch short. So I went ahead and used those barbarians. He's gonna use that lightning spell on that tower down there. I'm gonna use those barbs and archers, but unfortunately he places a fireball and destroys all of them just like that. Alright, so he's gonna drop the prince. I'm gonna counter it with a skeleton trap. Things are looking pretty dang good right now. I am at about a 4 elixir advantage at the moment, so I went ahead and used a fireball as well as some minions. I recently just upgraded those to level 7. Alright, so I have a pretty big amount of troops that are on the top castle. They are doing work, and for some reason he decides to start using his spells on my castle. I don't know why he decided to do that. It ends up costing him the raid. Hit him with the thanks because, well, thank you. And yeah, so that's pretty much it in this cake. I ended up winning, obviously, and let's hop into the next one. Alright, so we are attacking Dome Lord 5 from Bus Wonkers, or Bus Wankers, I'm not really sure. And so obviously this guy is at an advantage because he has the witch, and he happens to be level 7. And if you look at the top left, he is at about a 41, or a 42, I'm sorry, trophy advantage on me. But yeah, let's go ahead and see if I can take this guy out and add to my collection of level 7s that I've beaten in the past. Alright, so right now he is going to drop a pretty big horde on the left. I'm going to just drop some barbarians on the right. Use that fireball there to take out some of his troops. The witch by itself is not very good. Obviously this guy doesn't know how to use the witch. If I had the witch, I mean obviously I don't. I really wish I did. It's probably the best troop in the game by far. But if I did, I would probably put her in the back somewhere. Probably on the right side. And then back her... or I'm sorry, put in front of her either a wizard or a giant or something that has a lot of health instead of like the baby dragon like this guy did. Anyways, I'm going to drop that skeleton trap right in the middle like I said earlier, just in case he happens to have a prince. And yeah, so he's going to drop a witch as well as a baby dragon on the right this time. And I'm going to use a fireball and take that witch down to about 10% health, maybe. I don't actually know how much health. But I'm gonna use probably a mirror card and take in that all the remaining troops with that fireball. So that's probably the main reason that I bring a mirror, guys. Is not actually for like trolls or anything, because I have done that before and the strategies did not work at all. But I usually just bring it to trick people. So like, oh, this guy already used his fireball. Let me just drop a huge horde of troops. Well, I actually have another one, so surprise. Alright, so anyways, things are looking pretty dang good right now. He is about 1600 health, and I am at about 1500 on the right. But yeah, so anyways, he's going to drop the exact same strategy, so I decided to switch it up a bit and drop some barbarians as well as some minions to top it off behind it. Unfortunately, he had those arrows, so he did take out all those minions, and I'm just going to counter that sort of with that witch. And he ends up dropping a prince on the left, and I didn't actually notice it until he had about 3 hits on the tower, so I kind of freaked out and dropped some goblins in front of him. But he ended up ignoring the goblins completely, which is not what they usually do. Usually he retargets to a goblin, so that was kind of a waste of goblins there. And he dropped my castle down to about 200 health, so at this point I'm in defending mode slash attacking mode because I have that goblin barrel on the right, and things started to take a turn for the worst for Dome Lord. He drops a witch on the right for some awkward reason, I'm not sure why, and I end up fireballing that castle for the easy 1-star on Dome Lord. And yeah, so add that to the collection with level 7s, and let's hop right into the next raid. Alright, so we are attacking Julian RO9 from Colombian Horde, and I'm actually going to use the exact same strategy. And yeah, so I have a feeling this strategy is going to be around for a long time for me, unless I get to the point where people somehow just start countering it completely with maybe wizards or something like that, I don't know. But yeah, so he's going to start off dropping that giant skeleton. Those are starting to get a little bit annoying, because they do destroy every single horde, no matter what it is. I'm going to drop that skeleton trap just to counter that hog rider. So I'm kind of happy when people start to use hog riders because I have the right army to counter it. Same with princes. Instead of using like that huge skeleton army, which takes 4 elixir, I could just drop this simple skeleton trap, which is only 3 elixir, and it's even more effective, or if not the exact same effectiveness, if that made any sense. Alright, so right now things are looking pretty dang good. He hasn't even touched one of my towers yet. I plan on keeping it that way for as long as I can. I got that goblin hut on the bottom right doing some work. Yeah, so the mirror card, guys, is pretty dang clutch in a lot of these raids. I've probably had 3 or 4 where it was like down to the wire, and I used like 3 fireballs in a row. I just happened to keep getting fireballs, and then I used the mirror one to finish them off. It was actually pretty ridiculous, but I don't think I had that replay anymore, so I couldn't put it into this video. But anyways, hopping right back into this raid, I'm going to use some minions to counter those barbarians on the left side. Gonna keeping that goblin hut on the bottom right so I could keep hitting that castle constantly. And yeah, so he decides to not use his fireball on the top left there. Instead he uses a witch, and it actually ends up getting his tower down about a quarter of the way, maybe a little more. And yeah, so getting a little off topic, today is actually Super Bowl Sunday, so I hope you guys are having a great time with your family. I don't know, maybe you're a loner, I don't know. Don't really want to get into it if you are a loner, but anyways, put it down in the comment section who you're actually going for in the Super Bowl. I personally am going for the Broncos because I don't really like the Panthers at all. They're kind of a little too cocky. They are good. Unfortunately, I have a feeling they're going to just completely destroy the Broncos. But I'm still rooting for the Broncos because I know it's probably Peyton Manning's last year, especially if he ends up winning. So yeah, I'm probably going to go for the Broncos. But anyways, put it down in the comment section which team you're actually going for. And yeah, so hopping right back into this raid, I know I went a little off topic there, but you know, it's Super Bowl Sunday, so why not? Alright, so right now we got about 3 seconds left. I'm going to fireball that witch before we get into overtime. He's going to drop that hog rider, and I actually do not have any more skeleton traps, so I just went ahead and dropped some barbarians, not a big deal. And yeah, so like I said earlier, the only way to really counter this is if you have a free spell. because in that case it would have cost me a lot of hit points. He probably would have destroyed that tower depending on what level of free spell he had. So before the update, if you guys didn't actually know this, they updated it, obviously, because I'm talking about it, but they updated the free spell. So before, when it was level 1, it was 8 seconds, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's an automatic loss if you did have this, like if you had it happen to you. And like maybe if they had a hog rider or they had a huge horde of troops and they just dropped a free spell on everything, you were absolutely done. There was nothing you could possibly do. But luckily, after the update, they decreased the value or the amount of time to about 5 seconds rather than 8 seconds. And 3 seconds actually does make that much of a difference, guys, if you were wondering. So I ended up using a fireball on Julian R09 to wrap up that win. And yeah, so most of these were 1 stars today, but still it's a win, and I will take it any day. So guys, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope it helps you beat those level 7s or maybe those level 8s you get matched up with. And yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, comment your predictions for the Super Bowl, and I am out. Peace.